Okay. Yes, thank you very much for this wonderful invitation. My name is Duscha Padrutt. Perhaps I need to do this. Do you see this? The Zoom? Or only I? It's okay?
We see the presentation, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, super. Yes, and I'm an artist and initiator of an association in Bern called Quartierzeit, which means time and place somehow, and neighborhoods, and is now also, this organization is now also active in other places. And after studying law, I worked for various NGOs more in public PR for NGOs, and then I got somehow on winding paths in participatory art projects and playful intervention in public spaces. So, and I apologize for my English. Initially, I learned it from Beatles songs because we had only ancient Greek at school. And yes, I'm happy if you could help me to translate a little bit. About the time, how much is left now?
We have now a good 20-25 minutes, so if you can use 25 minutes would be great.
Great, yeah. Yes, I would like to start. Sorry, how it all began with a brief review of how I get interested in this de-sealing or de-pavement, yes, Entsiegeln in German. And this was more than 10 years ago. Our association started coordinating the cultural program for an annual car-free city day, Sunday in Bern. And in different neighborhoods, it was a kind of collective experiment to see what can sprout in public spaces when streets are open for people. And around 100 shops and restaurants and studios took part each year with an open day, and from yoga to folding bike races, dance, and my special favorite, bike and sustainable fashion parades. There was small wonders created every time. Yeah, and we also had actions with plants, but mostly very temporary. Here you see this car park fantasy of a flower shop. And something I still remember very well is the feeling at the end of the day, just before the traffic rolled again, when the streets become completely empty. And the absurdity of those oversized surfaces became almost painfully visible for a short moment, and all those white stripes, signs, and light signals somehow lost their meaning. And I had a very similar feeling during the first lockdown, when the streets remained empty all of a sudden for days. And during this time, we also had to reinvent our association and the topic of greening and unsealing, and the desire to revitalize public spaces, not just temporarily, become more and more pressing. And at that time, I was very concerned about how unequal access to nature and to places with high quality was. And anyone who had a garden or nearby recreational area was enormously privileged. And this led me to see the urban space as a garden that we care for together and that offers space for everyone, young and old, elderly, slow and fast, plant and their guests, such as insects, other small animals, or mythical creatures. And special creatures, how we from them we heard before. So the year 2021 was labeled in Bern as Nature Needs the City. It was a theme year, and there was a handbook for biodiversity, which also contains a chapter on de-sealing, which was a little bit a Bible for me, went to a Bible for me. And yes, the biodiversity and the de-sealing was widely anchored throughout the city in this time with various events and installed works, and the city of Bern received an important award for those actions. And in this time, we launched various campaigns in collaboration with another association called Lebendige Stadt, Living City, which was also known for playful activities. And this planned parade, 200 people, and 2021, marched with wildflowers and plants to a central square, which is normally used as a parking place also. And the aim of the happening was to transform the place into an idyllic little park and to set the playful example for biodiversity and climate adaptation. Yeah, it was the Helvetiaplatz, called Helvetiaplatz, and there are also the museums around and the museum quarter, and they took part of the intervention, and they now I heard they really invest in many de-sealing projects. So it's very beautiful to see that it's going on. And then we had also a mobile oasis together with a pizzeria. They wanted to de-seal, but it was only temporary possible for 3 months. So afterwards, it settled somewhere with in a garden, in a Genossenschaft. Yes, in a community building. And then this was my first depavement. It took place when a committee of various organizations launched a climate adaptation initiative by unsealing 9 square meters area on a completely covered paved place called Anselmeplatz. And these pictures made onto the cover of many articles. And also, perhaps you remember at this prize, it was a very nice picture. We got it from it was expo in Lausanne also a long time ago. This idea. So yes, and then I was asked last year to organize, no, it was end of 22, to organize an opening celebration act for the end of a major construction site. And I agreed on the condition that we can do it under the slogan of unsealing and greening. And the city agreed, and talking to local people and local organizations, it became very clear that most of them wanted much more green and cooling space, because there was also a neighborhood with many heat islands in this area, and not very much green spaces. And so instead of a one-off big festival, we worked with the local people to find places where we could unseal or deseal the pave together. And here is the model area number 1. Here you see the end result. And also there were many organizations. It was also Ypsilon party, Ypsilon Fest called, because there are streets formed like an Ypsilon, and they took over the place and this model area. Yeah, and now I have a little film how the steps. So, oh, yes, and then it came the celebration and the model area 2, and this was also nice. We could, before the city planned the whole area new with also wild and biodiversity plants. We could build 1 square meter with the people and the children. And now you see how it's flourishing today. And it was a nice event with walks and also little actions. Yes, and we had a nice echo of media, and it was amazing to see how many local groups were longing for until more places, as we got very many interesting voices. And at the same time, we were we realized that it was we were less quick than we hoped, or slower than we hoped, as the authorization processes and procedures first had to be put in place by the administration, which had to focus its resources on own projects, for example, in areas that were due for renovation anyway, for combined to integrate with, or to combine it with new standards to integrate in existing instruments, such as in Bern specialty meeting zones. We have a very lot of them, and it's nice to build them climate friendly or climate adapted and biodiverse. So it needs much time, or also new ideas now are starting, such as super blocks or biodiversity neighborhoods. The city of Bern is very pleasing to see that the city is really yeah, however, a really great deal has changed in the last few years, and enormous multiple benefits of unsealing, we heard before, is really be recognized in the city of Bern. And also they allowed us now to build a new model area 3. Yes, which is very nice, and they also are not enlarging or yes, somehow our model area 1, and yes, we also realized that visibility or networking or some impulse Wirkung, effect of impulse. Yeah. Yeah. And then, yes, we heard very much about the advantages and multiple benefits, and you always hear a lot of this, and all those disadvantages and the costs of really sealed soil, and it's clear, and yeah, that sooner or later, bottom line, it pays off many times. When you unseal the soil, also the investment costs. And in other presentations, I often was being asked to address the question, unsealing, why, or desealing, why is it so difficult when it's so clear that we have so many advantages? And I don't know, we could also afterwards in the discussion, I have to look, perhaps we could address this later if we have time. And yeah. Because every city has, I think, his own mix of hurdles, and it's interesting. We thought to address sometimes it's better not to just remove the hurdles or the obstacles, but really to listen what is behind those sorrows, and and understand the needs and the concerns behind it, and together go on a curious and patient treasure hunt, as you call, and if you really take serious the concerns, then and the at first glance conflicting interests, then yeah, you and if you ask who needs what, which yes, who needs the what in this process, then you will really find innovation pearls, or pearls of innovation and solution that benefit everyone. And yes, I think we need new standardized participation processes where you really listen to everyone and then find the best solution. You increase yes, acceptance and integration of all people. Yes. Yeah, and we are happy to contribute to these processes with our small and playful project, which is, I think, also important. We had a very interesting partnership with I think one of the biggest market for wild plants and flower plants in Switzerland, which takes place every year on the Swiss Federal Square. And then we launched 3 years ago this Entsiegeln .art platform, and this is this market, and to move faster, and I developed somehow something like a express depavement laboratory. Well, where are see? Yes, here. And it's a kind of Swiss miniature where the depaving can be explained and quickly realized on a small scale. And now you can also book it on Entsiegeln.art. And it was my greatest honor to came to Padrutt, as Marion mentioned. It was an invitation by the Kunstmuseum Liechtenstein, and it was very funny because this Entsiegelungslabor called Entsiegelungslabor was there then after the it was a biodiversity day. And afterwards it was for a few months it stand there as a little art object. So it was very nice. And here you see the people from the Forstamt, I think they built a Städtlebahn. They invented a Städtlebahn also. It was very fun. Not so much people because it was raining, but before, but it was nice. Yes, and yesterday it was a little bit late, so that's the reason why I had not so much time to prepare it. But we had this Entwicklungslaboratory on a festival of nature in the Pro Natura information center, where they are actually discussing if they could unseal the soil here, deseal the soil here. Do you see the asphalt? And we built the asphalt or the pavement with cartony, and then together with the children we did. You see first the situation, the actual situation, and then you see the great moment with when a tree were planted in the middle of the place. And on the left side there is a possibility that they really will start to unseal perhaps. It was interesting to discuss. And here you see also a little earthworm which was visiting then after the sealing. And then other mythical and crazy creatures which come to as guests. Yes, and this is the vision of the children when the whole thing is unsealed. No, not the whole thing. It's not the end result, but it gets from more wild. Yes. Yeah, and now I moved. How? Yes, we had like a sign or choosing the square as our sujet. or how to say, the logo or something, it reminds us that we have it in our hands to treat our land with care, and that every square meter counts, and unsealed surfaces connect heaven and earth, and restore the water cycle, and at the same time the square is also the measure that makes the soil available and allocable and as a resource, and is also somehow the problem, perhaps, because the biodiversity is not bound at the and at the Grundbuchgrenzen. I introduced it, but yes, and yeah, there are some links also because there are very interesting initiatives in Switzerland. The Naturama is very active. They have also, for the canton of Aargau, they made an Entsiegelungsleitfaden, like a checklist. It's interesting. And there are these Asphaltknackerinnen and also Mission B as an Entsiegeln site. So the German links, there are many more. So yes, we also collected a little bit on the website. But you know it perhaps also, you know, very many links also, sure, for sure. Yes, and now I moved it partly to Brownwald, and where I also offer guided walks and coachings in nonviolent communication, and I look forward to visits in Brownwald. Perhaps we can also, it's not the best picture because it's not in Brownwald, but you have to come and see the paradise. Perhaps it's car-free village where perhaps also we can learn about the healing power and of unsealed soil. And yes, I would be very happy to carry out our art project, some little art projects in other communities. And yes, just send an email. Yes. Thank you very much. And yeah, so I got back to give back to Marion. So,
thank you so much, Duscha.
Try to give back. Oh, here.
Mm-hmm.